Hey guys, welcome back to Open and Play. Today we're going to be looking at the SHFiguarts Andy. I don't know this character. I don't know this anime. I don't know really anything about it. I just bought it for fodder, so I'm going to use it for an Iron Man body, hopefully. I think it works for the purpose that I want it, but I will modify it just a little bit, mainly by taking away this little thing on his shirt, or on his jacket, I should say. Okay. Probably some of you out there know what this is from, but I actually asked some of my students, but nobody knew, so I kind of gave up. I don't really care what it is from exactly. I have opened it before, so we're gonna see a little bit what we see when we buy a Figuarts figure. So it's got all these hints and tips and tricks how to make the figure work, how to do it without damaging the figure. Inside the package is just a blue background, so not anything special there, but we do have a couple of layers of stuff here. So this back layer, it's an accessory. I guess this is his sword arm. We also have this little effect here, which I don't actually know what it's for. Is that in focus? Okay, I think it's in pretty good focus. But I might be able to use this for something for customizing also, but it's just like a little blasty type effect. Okay, and then we have this ridiculously strange sword arm where his sword is actually stabbing through his arm. I don't know what this anime is. I thought it might be like Jujutsu Kaisen or something, but I don't think it's that. This part does have a joint that poses, and it doesn't go side to side, it seems. I think it plugs in and then you can swivel it at the hinge. So one thing that's weird about this guy, his arms seem like unnaturally short. That's the one thing about this figure that I was kind of surprised by. But this is what he looks like in his plastic prison. And we're going to take a look at these ridiculous anime faces, or ridiculous for me. I'm sorry, I'm kind of a harsh critic, but let's see what we've got here. So first you have this odd extra face, which has gigantic teeth and a gigantic mouth and a really small pointy nose. Okay, he's got the little fluff of hair here. It is made of a softer material, so it will bend a little bit. Doesn't break, I think. I don't know what this is, but I guess that's maybe a scar for the guy's face. Seems to be. And his hair is sort of like blocky. I'm just thinking of like Cloud from Final Fantasy VII or whatever game that was. Okay, then we have this other one, which is this kind of weird, ridiculous face, which I don't know what it's supposed to be really. And apparently he has a metal piece stuck into his head. And he's surprised looking, maybe because he's dying or getting killed, I don't know. But his hair looks basically the same, it seems. Okay, and next we have this other one, which you guys will probably know me. I'm really not a fan of. Gigantic mouth. I've seen worse, but a gigantic mouth. And now his teeth seem to be really small. They were really big here, but they're really small here. But, and he has sort of like a frog-like tongue to his face. And again, he has that metal thing in his head. I'm not really getting it. I guess the first one had the metal thing in the head too. What is this character? Is he a cyborg? I thought he was like getting killed and that was like sort of his dying expression, but I guess it's not anything like that. Okay, and then, so this one's kind of like, yeah, or he's like a serial killer, or he's like laughing. I don't know, but it's a really maniacal looking thing. Okay, and then we have this sword. The sword is nicely detailed. It does have paint on it, where it's needed, and basically it's just a really nice sword. So you could use this for G.I. Joe Classified or Marvel figures or anything in the 1/12 scale. I think it's a pretty decent sword. But I think you can see the details okay, but I'll see if I can come in closer. So it does have paint inside each of these, and then gold paint, gold, the silver, and the silver, I guess it doesn't have a wash maybe, but it does have a slightly different look to it at the end. So either the use of another color here for the silver on the end, or it's got some kind of a wash to highlight that part. It's kind of hard to tell. But anyways, something's different on the paint. Okay, and then we have a bunch of hands that come with him. So for these hands, I'm going to dump them out like this. You have two pointing hands, I guess you would say. Maybe they're pointing, maybe they're gun shooting hands. Okay, you have two of these square brick type holding hands where I guess the sword slides in, maybe, probably. Okay, those are kind of weird. These all have the ball part here. Okay, and then you have these two open hands. Look like this. Okay, it's pretty normal. Okay, and then to the figure himself. Sorry, I don't remember where this little plastic slip went, but he had a couple of plastic slips on him, and I sort of just like stuck them back a little bit. Okay, so this is what the overall figure looks like. He's sort of muscular and mature looking for this weird head, but that's just my opinion. Okay, with the SHFiguarts, I've probably done almost none of these figures, so we'll go through the articulation. He can look up about that far, down about that far. He has tons of options for attitude. It's not as good as I thought, but you move it a little bit and you get more give in many of the joints. Okay, his neck can move also, so you got a pretty good amount of posability. It does look really gappy and weird here. That's a problem that I find with a lot of the higher end Japanese figures. He has butterfly joints that come forward all the way like this, but they don't go back really, and they don't go up or down really. Oh, sorry, I'm wrong. They can go down. They can go up and down a little bit, so that's a better joint than I expected. Okay, his arms will go up. This part is also on a ball joint. This will spin at the bicep cut. Now he's got these bizarre arms because of the way his shirt is rigged up. So he's got this really short forearm, which kind of drives me crazy, and I didn't quite anticipate just how short it is. But I guess he can touch his crotch if he needs, but it looks like it's going to be a hard time in the bathroom for this guy. His arm goes across, he can barely handle the equipment. So, but anyways, with the rest of his arm, this poses like this, and double jointed gets you that far. And I guess it's supposed to be this part is his forearm also, but it doesn't really look like it from the sculpt. So, and then his hand is on this kind of joint. Sorry, I think I'm hitting the camera a little bit. His arm is on this kind of joint where it's a ball peg on another ball peg, so you can swivel it around. You can angle this also. So, oops, and then we just pop these on. Okay, it's a pretty good joint. For his diaphragm joint, it's going to be hard to move this separately, but he can look down really crazy good like that. He can go back pretty good, but the diaphragm is harder to do because this jacket. Okay, he can go side to side a lot. Oh, and I either broke his leg or I popped it out. Okay, sorry, I just popped it out. I'm not sure, but his leg is pretty weak, so it pops out very easily. His legs will go apart, but you do have to worry about that popping out thing. They'll go up like this. He has a cut at the thigh, so this will go around. It's got double jointed pinless knees, but they do have this very enormous blocky looking part, which kind of looks odd at some angles. It's not too bad because these baggier pants are hard to do. So, and then at the ankle, he has a swivel, and he also has ankle pivot. Basically, it's on like a ball joint, and then he also has toe articulation. So, going back that forward that far, and he can kind of go side to side all kinds of ways. So, but anyways, pretty good posability. So we're gonna put him back here, and we're gonna get a measurement real quick. He is standing at about just about 6 inches to 6 1/8, so somewhere in there. He's not a very tall guy, but we're gonna try to put this head from the Iron Man Mafex figure on him. That is what I bought him for, is to give Iron Man a head. And I gotta remember, how did I get in here? I got in here from the top, so just slide this out, get out this head. Kind of an old-fashioned looking Tony Stark head. I don't think I'm probably going to be able to, I don't think I'm probably going to be able to combine the neck with this, but I might be able to if I play with it. But for now, I'm just going to pop off his head, pop off this head, see if I can put it on here. Okay, I'm not going to be able to put it on because the size of the joint is different, but this is sort of what it looks like. His head is a little bit higher on this neck, but I think his head can look okay if I get him in some angles. My idea was to have him kind of like looking down on a folder, something like this. I thought this suit looked pretty good, but I do have a plan to cover this maybe with a badge, maybe a Stark Industries badge, if I can figure out something to do for that. But obviously I can change some of the hands up. But the problem with this figure is his forearms look so small, and that part just kind of drives me crazy compared to what I thought it was going to look like. But if I mess with this, I may be able to take out the neck and put this neck in. But I don't think I have to do that for the display option that I'm going to try to do. So, or I could have him holding the briefcase, maybe the armor briefcase. So I think it works good as a kind of old classic Tony Stark. So, okay. Thank you guys for joining me on this one. You know what? I'm going to see how tall he stands with this head. His head is down a little bit, but I do think he's going to stand just a little bit taller. So if I straighten out his head, he's going to stand, yeah, just a little bit taller than the other guy. So a little over 6 1/8. But I think that's pretty good for an Iron Man out of his armor. Tony Stark out of his armor. Okay, thank you guys. I'm sorry I didn't even know the name of this character. This is obviously the name for the thing, but I've got to read up on it. Okay. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next video. F ice. Bye for now.